Hey everybody, welcome to the Asp Unlimited app. Thank you so much to everyone who is a member of the community on the Asp Unlimited app. I think the community's growing and doing really great, and the comments over there are so good and helpful. Also, we will have this on Active Self-Protection Extra a little bit later as well. I am here in the hangar with 13 Hotel, which is the club plane that I fly, continuing this series on how getting my pilot's license a couple years ago has made me a better self-defender. Today, we're talking about how the pre-flight informs me as a self-defender. Palm pepper spray is next generation OC spray. It's hot at 1.4% major capsaicinoids, and its modular design means you can customize it exactly to you. 3 different setups, lots of different color combinations. You can make it exactly as you like. And the flip top safety prevents accidental discharges. It's 10 to 12 foot range and 25 half-second blasts. Make sure that you can keep that long range eye poke at long range. I trust Palm OC and I recommend it for everyone for self-defense. I mentioned in the last video that my friend, mentor, and real established and experienced pilot, designated pilot examiner John McLaughlin taught me how to fly in many ways. He wasn't my flight instructor, but he instilled in me a mindset that says, John, when you show up here, you pre-flight this airplane and you find a reason, no go. You find a reason not to fly this plane, and if you find a reason not to fly it, don't fly it. Because it's going to try to kill you today, and it's your job to keep it from doing so. If you can't find a reason not to fly the plane, then go fly the plane. But look for a reason not to fly the plane, and if you do that, that mindset of safety will keep you alive, because flying is neither safe nor unsafe, but it is unforgiving. So what we do is we actually have a checklist that we learn as a pilot, that every plane has its own checklist that we go through to make sure that all the systems are in good working order before we go fly. We have some that we do here in the hangar, then we have some that we do just before we start the engine. We have some that we do after the engine is started to make sure that it's running correctly, some that we do right before takeoff to make sure that the plane is correct and oriented correctly, and then plenty that we do in the air too. So checklists are a real way of life for pilots. But the pre-flight checklist, I think, is a really good one, and one that I think has a good application, so hang in there with me. I actually use my phone here, right? So I keep my cell phone on me, and on my phone, I use an app that helps me as a pilot. It's PreFlight for you pilot nerds. And we have our pre-flight checklist in here that we see it, we call it out, and we do it. We see it, we call it out, we do it. We see it, we call it out, we do it. And that makes sure that every piece of this airplane is functioning correctly. Now, how does that apply to self-defense? I ask you this: when you pick your firearm up to put it on your body for the day, are you pre-flighting your gun? I hope you do pre-flight your gun, and it's a very simple pre-flight. Now, I'm gonna say there's nobody around here, okay? So I'm at a general aviation airport, and we are behind a security gate. There's literally nobody else around, and I have some good directions here in order to point that firearm in a good direction. So I have a firearm on my person right now, and it is my defensive firearm. And I'm gonna show you just my quick and dirty pre-flight. So now I'm pointed in the direction where we actually have some stuff that will stop a bullet, right? So I have a good direction of least consequence in order to point my firearm. So when I am going out for the day, when that firearm comes out, one of the things that I want to do is I want to just pre-flight it. I just want to verify that it's okay. And I'm going to tell you the couple of ways that I do that. First thing I do, drive that gun out and see my sighting system. Now, of course, I am running an optics. This is my LTT Elite P30 LEM, tuned by Ernest Langdon. And I'm running a Halcyon 507C in green. So I just want to see, is my dot there? And it's a circle for me. And is that circle bright? Is the window clear of my optic? Now, some people take that to real extremes, and it's got to be perfect every day. For me, is it, can I see through the optic? Is the dot on, and is everything there? Cool. Now, that's my first step of my pre-flight. Now, you might say, but John, I'm not running a dot, I'm running irons. Check your irons, right? Check to make sure that they haven't drifted. Telling you, man, people think, well, iron sights never fail, and that's hogwash. So if you're an iron shooter and you're running a dovetail sight like this one is, make sure that it's in the middle of the dovetail like it belongs. Make sure that your rear sight hasn't drifted off and that you can see your sights. Cool. That's step number one. Step number two, I'm going to check my magazine. And I do a couple of things with that. Number one, is it full? Number two, is it full of defensive ammo? So I look in that. Number three, is it open. So is it functioning? I just give it a little zhuzh here just to make sure that it's mobile, that it's not jammed up, everything's good, and it's in good working order. Then I insert it into the gun, press, and then pull. So I'm gonna give it and verify that it is seated. Next, I'm going to check that I have a round in the chamber. So I just briefly did a little press check to verify that yes, I have a defensive round in the chamber. I know that in mine because they're nickel plated. I have the magazine is full, gun is in functional order, sights are good, and then I safely, carefully, reluctantly holster and grease the landing. We've talked about that before. So a little pre-flight for you. Check your sights, check your magazine, check your chamber, safely, carefully, reluctantly holster, and go on with your day. That little bit, and I also think, man, once that gun's in the holster, now I'm running a paddle magazine release here with my P30, and that is covered by my holster, so I have no worries about being, it getting bumped. But if you're running a gun with a button, I see this with Glocks with extended magazine releases for competition use that people carry defensively. Man, you bump that sucker and your magazine could come out just a little bit. So just verify every once and again, just by giving it a little tug, that your magazine is seated. For those of us that are running paddle, this isn't really a problem. So I'm gonna go PreFlight 13 Hotel. We have some more lessons that it has taught me as a self-defender, but I hope this pre-flight idea with your firearm helps you, because it certainly helped me to be more consistent. Every time I put the gun on, I run my pre-carry checklist, and I hope you do too. I said it in the last video as well as we end, and I gotta say it here again as well. Remember, I'm not a flight instructor. I'm not trying to teach you how to fly. I'm a subject matter enthusiast. I love to fly. I am a self-defense instructor and a firearms instructor. I'm trying to teach you in that realm. And again, just learn how the plane has helped me to be a better self-defender. So I'm not trying to teach you how to fly at all here, okay?